Good morning, fellow campers and outdoors. Boy, it's kind of nice out here. It's already starting to get a little bit warm, but not too bad. I believe we're going to be able to handle it. Hat on here. Boy, yesterday was a booger, wasn't it? Got my little double eagle frontier uh, here this morning. It's a 4435. Now this one here. I can't remember. I didn't buy it. I'm trying to remember who gave me this knife, and I cannot for the life of me remember. It's one I actually carry probably more than I do any of the rest of them. I'm not so sure who gave it to me though, but I've had it for a few years. And like I said, I enjoy it because it's normally the one I carry, about that size right there. Now, if I'm really, the ones I actually like better is the 3.5 inch single blade, but kind of like these two. It's about, now you carry the little bitty one for your fingernails and stuff like that, but that right there is basically perfect size for a pocket to me. But anyway, that's what we're going to be using today if we need a knife. Okay. Uh, Today we're going to have pancakes. Sunday's my pancake day. I usually have pancakes on Sunday. Looks like I have them every day of the week, don't it? But I'm going to have it today. You'll probably notice this piece of metal here. It's just up there with some magnets and stuff. I had a subscriber noticed that I was getting some grease on my schoolie here and some on my screen there, and they suggested that I put something behind that stove. But after you get to thinking about it, it makes a whole lot of sense, don't it? So I took their advice, and that buddy of mine, I told you, he had a bunch of little old pieces of this here metal, and I just happened to have a piece I thought I didn't have to cut it, didn't have to do anything. I thought, I'm going to give that a shot right there, and I believe that right there will take care of what I'm going to do. One thing about it's magnetic. If I want to put a magnet up there, kind of like I do my cup holders and stuff here, my measuring cup stuff right there, I can put it up there, so it'll get multiple sources. So remember, if you see something that'll help me out on my channel and just everyday camping and cooking and stuff, let's comment. I'll take you. If it's constructive criticism, I want to hear it. I don't want to hear a bunch of nonsense. People ain't got nothing else better to do but to complain about stuff. I'm not interested in any of that. But if you've got constructive criticism about something on my channels or suggestions, or anything, you see something that you think I ought to try, hey, I'm open. I try to learn something new every day if I get an opportunity. And there's no stupid question to ask. So if you got a question you need to ask me, ask me. But today, like I said, we're going to have pancakes. So we're going to get set up here, and sausage. So we're going to get set up here, and we're going to cook them up. So hold on a second. Let me get you set up here. All right, we'll get started here. Get this old stove turned on here. I don't think my igniter worked. Some reason. There it went. I don't know what I did different that time. But I believe that right there will work out. All right, let's take our rag again, just for the heck of it. We'll just kind of wipe that skillet down. When I store it, I put a towel over it, but we'll still kind of flop right there. You know, so get her warmed up there. We'll cook our sausage up first here. Get it going. Probably don't need 2 pieces, but I'm gonna do 2 pieces. So we'll deal with that one time sitting down. See if we can't put away 2 pieces. You think a guy my size put away 2 pieces with a couple pancakes? I think we can do it. But yeah, man, yesterday, whoo, did it get hot yesterday? Golly. By I know I'm turning that pretty quick, but I kind of like to get both sides warm at the same time a little bit, and then let her start cooking up. But by noon yesterday, if you was outside, I feel sorry for you. Sweet mother, I'm talking about, it was miserable outside. So I stayed hoarded up all day, you know, and just kind of worked on a few things that I could do inside. I don't know about y'all, but I sure hope you guys, if you had to work or something, you took time and took care of yourself. Man, I had a friend yesterday. He said he wasn't out but just a few minutes, but he's in his late 80s. And he wasn't out very long at all. And he said he nearly had him a little heat stroke. He barely made it back into the house. So if you're older, you be careful. You be real careful in this heat. You know, this morning I saw, I think there was 4 little bucks. I wished I could have got to my camera, but I didn't. And they just hung around and hung around. They probably wouldn't 30 yards, 40 yards, maybe 40 yards from me. And they sit there and watch me, you know, and I talk to them. You know how it is. But I tell you, out here, you haven't seen anything. Like I said, we've seen ducks, we've seen geese. You know, the only thing I haven't seen yet is a turkey. But I bet you, before it's all over with, I see one of them turkeys. I see a lot of squirrels. I hadn't seen a rabbit either, come think of it. I haven't seen a rabbit since we've been doing the videos. But turn that down a little bit. I don't need that hot, do I? But yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me make sure I turn down a little. That's one thing about that cast iron. If you don't pay attention, it gets hot and it gets hot quick and it holds its heat. That's what I like about it. It holds its heat. Don't take as much energy to cook anything. Man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of ready for a little cooler weather. I like my weather, you know, around 72, 73, somewhere around that for summer. We don't ever see that in summer, do we? You know, I could almost handle 80, you know, pretty good. But this high 90s and hundreds, man, that old fat boy, that kind of gets to me. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good suggestion right there, because you know, I was every once in a while I'd take salt water and I'd wash this area down right here because I could see a couple sprinkles of oil. But that right there makes it a lot simpler, because especially since I got screens here, getting that oil in that screen, after a while I'd probably, like they said, probably end up with a mess. So that right there was a pretty good suggestion. I like that, you know. We're just about to get these here where I want. I'm gonna turn that down even a little bit more for my pancakes. Put that sausage on here. All right. Now we're gonna this down really, really low. Actually, while we make up our pancake mix, I think I'm actually going to turn that off. And I can always kind of heat it back up then. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn that off while we mix up our pancake stuff. Another suggestion that I got, and I never think about it, you know, you're out camping and stuff like that, but and I've always got a cloth here, I'm always wiping my hands on it. But my sister, she's one of my subscribers, and she said after I've handled pork, you know, she said I need to use my wipes. And I've got wipes and I do use them, but I just never thought about it right out here. So I've got a package of wipes here, sis. And since I handled that pork before I handle anything else, I'm going to wipe up my hands. See, there's another suggestion, even though this one came from family, especially with all the stuff that's going on now. You know, nowadays, heck, you're scared to death to eat a salad. I tell you the truth, I don't know what we're going to do. If you can't nuke it or heat it up in a skillet and kill everything in it, man, we got a problem. I don't know what the answer is, but somebody said that they had found 30 new cases of that virus that's going around with lettuce and stuff in Arkansas over yesterday. I believe it was 30 new cases yesterday. I think I heard that on the news this morning. Man, can you believe that? So she's right. You need to protect yourself because pork is a, you know, a dangerous thing to deal with as far as catching bacteria and stuff. So another good suggestion. Put it in practice. Y'all keep an eye on me. Make sure that I do it. Well, I'm going to switch angles here with you, and we're going to make up our pancake batter. All right. Let's see if we can make us up some pancakes here. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and break one egg up in here. All right. I'm going to beat it up a little bit. Y'all may do this a little bit different than I do. You may have a different order in which you do it. But I do it the simplest way I know how to do it. I try to make things simple. Alrighty. And I'm going to dump me a 3/4 cup of milk, which I've already measured up here for myself. I didn't want that big jug out here and big container make me a mess while I'm trying to do it. So that right there is going to make things a little bit easier. I'm going to mix them together too. Like that right there. I know I'm probably doing this backwards or whatever, but this is going to work for me kind of easy. A lot of people probably put their flour in there and then start doing all this. Which probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Then I'm going to get me a couple teaspoons or tablespoons of cooking oil. Alrighty. This thing not only sprays, it pours. Couple. I'm going to dump that in there. Alright. Lock that back. We're going to set that right back up here where it belongs. I'm going to get my rag over here and I'm going to wipe this off a little bit here so I don't make a mess on everything. Hang it right back up there. I don't know why I just did that, because now I'm going to put a tablespoon of sugar in there. It's my sugar bowl. Alright. Oh, that'll make it. That'll put a little kick in it, won't it? Stir all that up in there. And I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Boy, something got my nose itching. Somebody must be talking about me. You know, somebody must be talking about me. Ain't that way it is if your nose itches, somebody's talking about you? Huh. I don't know all those sayings, but I used to know a few of them, but I don't know what all them mean anymore. But I think that's what that means. I put this towel back over here out of my way. Now I don't even measure the cinnamon. I like cinnamon. They say cinnamon's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be healthy for you. I like my cinnamon, so I don't, like I said, I don't even measure it. I just put whatever I want to put in there, like that right there. Then I'll mix that up right there. Get it out that way. Me do it this way, everything gets mixed up. All your flavor, especially your cinnamon and your sugar. You know, to me it just, I don't know. I just like doing it this way. Then I'm gonna add me a cup of flour to this. Other than the cinnamon deal here on pancakes, this is basically how my wife makes pancakes. And I just, now she may not, I don't think she does it in the order that I do. But the only thing I've done to her recipe over the years is I like cinnamon mine. And I think she does too. Now that she's been doing it. All right, here's my flour here. Guys, there's one thing I try to do. And if you're gonna camp and you're gonna do this, try to get everything that you can get in sealed containers. Somebody run by and kind of startled me a little bit, didn't they? We're gonna let him get back by because he's running, and I'll put you back on here in just a second. All right, he's done gone, and I got myself back together so I can concentrate. So we need to put in a cup of flour now. All right, let me get my container here. Get me a cup of flour without making a mess. But that's right. See, it's taking me a little bit, but I'm going to get myself back on track. Try to make sure everything is in sealed containers. I like to, if I get an opportunity, I like to buy these metal cans and stuff, that that I put my stuff in that's labeled right. Used to everything come in cans. This one here is my coffee can. I love Folgers. And I saw they had this metal can with 175-year anniversary, and I ordered it. But I thought when I ordered it, I ordered it was a big can of coffee. I didn't realize it was that small. I mean, I thought this wasn't that expensive, but the reason I ordered it was one. I mean, it wasn't the reason I ordered. I ordered it because I wanted the 175-year metal can. They're doing away with all these cans and stuff, and I tell you, and if you're doing what I'm doing, it's nice to have all these metal tins and stuff. I happened the other day run across one of these metal cracker tins. They didn't have a lid, so I'm going to have to find me a lid for it. But I'm still sealed up here. But I like everything sealed. That way I don't end up with bugs and, mice and everything in my rig. So as soon as I get stuff, before I ever take it into my rig, I try to put it in something that is sealed up. So man, it'd be a mess. You get rats, they'll eat your wiring up and everything else in here, but into the food stuff in there, take some of this stuff like this, it's not that expensive. My wife and I was at a discount store, and they had these right here. There's I think there's 4 different sizes inside one, and then they had these bowls same way, and I think I gave $6 for both outfits. That's $3 a piece. You're looking at what, 25 or what, 50 cents a piece or whatever. per container, you know, and it'll save you because man, you get them bugs and stuff in your house. I mean, in your camper or whatever. Boy, it's a mess. But let's get back to our cooking here. I need a cup of flour without making a mess, like I said. All right, we're gonna dump that cup of flour in there. It's all-purpose flour. We're gonna dump that in there, and I'm gonna wipe this down again. I'll wash it up, but I just don't want all that mess inside my schoolie while I'm traveling. So, okay, now then, what we're gonna do, we're gonna mix all this up. Yeah. We'll mix all this up real good. Yeah, that'd be a nightmare to me to have a bunch of critters inside my vehicle. Man, yeah, that's one thing about the good old days. They had all the containers were sealed containers with lids and stuff like that, or metal tins and stuff. It kind of helped a little bit with that problem. Now everything comes in paper. And them mice and bugs and stuff, before you know it, especially mice, they'll they'll get into every damn thing you can do. Man, I'll tell you something I heard about the other day. I hadn't heard about them in years. Bed bugs. Ah, well, boy's telling me that somebody brought some of those to a church, and they had them things in their church. And they tell me that bed bugs are one of the hardest things in the world to get rid of. You know, so can you imagine that? Oh, here I am cooking, talking about bugs. That's a man for you, ain't it? But heck, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. You know, that's kind of like my sis getting on to me about not wiping my hands after I handle that pork and stuff. And you know, at home, like I said, I do wash my hands a lot, but I never did it because while I'm cooking stuff and wiping my hands and stuff. I never really did it because I handled pork, you know. So, uh, but anyway, we got her. I believe we got her satisfied. Y'all think we got her satisfied by doing that? I think we do. You know, and that suggestion on that uh, splash board, I guess I could call it grease board or whatever. I think in the long run, I'm going to be glad they made that suggestion. That'll save me. I can just take that down, take me some soap and water, wipe that up, and clean it up. I think it's about time for me to turn this oven back on. What do y'all think? Let it start heating up. Let her start heating up and get us some pancakes going here. I'm gonna go ahead and oil her up here a little bit. I found out too on cooking pancakes. I put oil. I oil it up like I am if I'm going to be cooking hash browns. You know how it takes a lot of hash browns, and I'm almost deep frying these things. And they I like that kind of crispy edge a little bit on around mine. So we're going to switch angles here, and we're going to start cooking up some pancakes for this morning. All righty. I've done poured a little bit in here, and we're going to start cooking these up. I thought I had my camera off of pause, and I happened to look up, and I didn't when I was first pouring that in there on this first one here. But I'm making sure I really watch my temperature when I cook my pancakes, because I tend to, if I ain't careful, I can burn up my pancakes. I like my pancakes a little bit crispy around the edges. And my wife even told me the other day, she said, I like them better that way myself, to come to think of it. Well, don't that look good? I'll add just a little bit more oil. Like I said, I use quite a bit of oil in my skillet when I'm cooking. Let's see here. Yeah, another thing that sister of mine told me, she asked me if I was keeping my bacon grease. And I said, well, no. I said, well, how in the world am I going to keep bacon grease out here? She said, well, you're throwing away the best part. She said, man, you can use that in anything. I said, well, I understand that, but man, I try to put that in this bus and keep it a day or two and end up knocking it over. I said, man, I'd have me a mess, wouldn't it? I said, no, I can't keep that out here. So she didn't like that idea. She thought but growing up, we didn't throw nothing away. That's my problem I got today is I don't throw nothing away. It is so, and every time I get rid of something, I mean, within a matter of days. I mean, I could have it laying around for 5 years, but I can get rid of it, and with just in a matter of days, I'll be looking for it, needing it. And you'd think it didn't have any value until you have to go buy it and replace it, and you think, my God, the way the price of things went up, man. I went the other day and replaced my golf cart batteries. Don't that look good? I'm gonna cook all this up. I'm not gonna eat them all right now, just like the bacon. I'm gonna put them up and eat them later. But anyway, let's get back to what I was saying. When I got replaced my golf cart batteries, 6.5 years ago, when I got batteries, cost me about $600 something. Those things cost almost $1,100. I like to. The first time I went down there, I turned around and left. I mean, it shocked me so much. I just, after he told me, I said, well, I appreciate you, young man. And I just turned around and left. I could not believe it. You guys know me. I'm not a spender. You know, uh, like the old saying, the old men used to keep a buffalo nickel in their pocket so long that buffalo would end up using the bathroom in there because couldn't get out. Uh, but yeah, the price of things nowadays, it shocks me. I honestly don't see how people make it. I really don't. Man, I tell you what, that like to spend. Man, you got young people out there that got a house payment, 2 brand new car payments, plus all the utilities and groceries and stuff like that. Man, I just don't, I can't understand it. I just don't see how in the world they do it. I'm gonna have to do something about that. That's gonna be a suggestion to me. I've thought about putting a wider board on there at some time. Thought I might have to. So when I got those, I got them a little long, but I'm gonna have to rethink that situation right there, ain't I? These pancakes are cooking pretty good this morning. It's about time, as far as cooking, that I don't have any mishaps, and here I am. I'm bragging on it, just like my stove the other day. I was bragging on how it was regulating like it ought to, and now it started acting up a little bit. So I'm probably going to do the same thing right here. Get to bragging on this, and it'll something happen. But why don't that cinnamon give them a pretty uh, color? I don't know about y'all. Boy, I love that cinnamon. Man, You know, I like it in French toast. I like it. I like cinnamon. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be all right there. That's gonna be all right there. I can't wait to get into these. I'm here to tell you, I can't wait to get into these. Well, if you don't like good pancakes, there's something wrong with you. It's probably a lot of you may be like me. We don't need them. I think this one right here is going to be it. I think this one right here is going to be it. Yeah. Okay. You know, I was watching some videos. They was talking about editing and all that kind of stuff. Guys, I don't know nothing about no editing and all that kind of stuff. If I make a boo-boo, it's going to be a boo-boo. Because I don't care who you are. If you're out there trying, you're going to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you ain't trying. Okay? You hear somebody say if they don't make mistakes. Let me tell you something. I make a lot of them. Kind of like listening to these couples. Sometimes you'll see them on interviews. We've been married 40 years and never had an argument. Guys, I hate to call you a liar, but you're doing something that ain't normal. Like living in two different states. Because if you've been married that long, I've been married 39 years this month. I was married 39 years. And I promise you, if we go more than 3 or 4 days without disagreeing on something, it may not be uh, anything really serious. I mean, we don't get into knockdown dragouts and threaten to whoop each other or anything like that. But we have disagreements, especially since my head injury. Uh, we'll have spats over. I can't understand what you're saying. You're mumbling, something like that, or something will get moved in my house, and I can't find it. See, I'm a man of routines. Everything has to be in its place, especially like I said, since my head injury. And if you move something, I'm constantly second guessing myself whether I ever had it or not. And so I say, please don't move anything. If I put it here, leave it here. I know exactly where it's at. But anyway, so if you say that you've been married for 20 and 30 years and you've never had an argument, I don't know about all that. I tell you what, though, we got this cooked up. We're gonna get some syrup. We're gonna go over at the picnic table. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna try this out. So hold on, let me get it set up. All right, here. Let's see what our hard work. See if it paid off. Look at that. See, I don't have every one of them pancakes on there. I know some of y'all look at me thinking, when he gets done with this video, he's gonna eat the rest of them pancakes. I won't. This is where I'll stop right here. But I am going to eat both of them sausages. What do you think? So first thing I'm gonna do is put me a little butter on this right here. I guarantee it, as that old boy says. Put that little butter on there, on them hot pancakes. Man alive. If y'all don't put cinnamon in your pancakes, you need to try. You bet. I want you to see how thin those are. That's the way I like them. That's exactly the way I like them right there. All right, now then. You bet. All right. Now then. We'll put us a little bit of syrup on there right there. That's one of my recycled deals right there. Like I said, I think I've told you in videos before. These barbecue bottles, I just wash them up, clean them up, and I use them for different things inside my schoolie. All right. One thing I like is a lot of syrup. I put a little drop. Put a little. Show you what it looks like. I put a little bit of. Oops. Don't that look good? That syrup on there. That's way too much syrup for a fat boy, ain't it? I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be eating that much syrup. But we're going to give it a shot here and see how it turned out. What you think? You know, sometimes I'll mix a little peanut butter with my syrup. You know, I kind of like that too. So we're fixing to see how these here turned out this morning. I know I keep saying everything's good, but man, well, good Sunday morning, wake up to pancakes and sausage. Kind of reminds you of home when you was a kid, don't it? Man, there ain't nothing like good pancakes and sausage. Goodness gracious, that's good. Look at that, see how they mixed them together. Man, take another bite of that. Boy, that is good. That is good. Well, guys, I want to thank my sister, them, everyone for your comments and your constructive criticism. As you can see, if you make a suggestion and I think it's something that I can use, I'm going to use it. Like I said, I like to learn something new every day if I can. I wake up wanting to learn something new. So, as you see, I implemented those. So, that means our channel is going to get better. The more changes we make to the good, the better our channel will get. So, you guys, if you like what you see, hit like. If you want to see more of them, hit subscribe and hit that bell so that you know next time one comes along. And I sure appreciate you guys joining me, and I'll see you down the road.